Heritage Hard Hat Divers is a volunteer organization centered in Vancouver, British Columbia, with an interest in the preservation and use of heavy gear diving equipment. The group's logo incorporates a drawing by early 20th century artist Heinrich Clay that captures the dream that draws man, even to this day, to don heavy gear and descend into the watery depths. The group held its 2013 rally from September 13th to 15th at beautiful Sproat Lake on Vancouver Island, just outside the coastal town of Port Alberni. Bryce Cassavant, one of the youngest participants in Heritage Hard Hat Divers, and his extended family were good enough to host the event at their Claircoud Marina, which provide many of the basic resources that were needed to make it happen, like dock space and a good beach which allowed easy access to the water for the divers. Tom Bell and Mike Bentley did a lot of the heavy lifting for organizing the event and providing and operating the diving support equipment. Even the youngest, Cassavant, joined in. Tom's efforts also included arranging for a houseboat from the nearby Fish and Duck Marina to provide necessary accommodation for the participants from afar that needed it. The houseboat, dubbed the Cowboy, served the group well, who nevertheless cast envious glances at the more luxuriously equipped and crude models. Other participants in the rally also included members of the Northwest Dive Equipment Group, which is based in Seattle's Puget Sound area. They were Dennis Johnson, Guy Score, and Joe Winkler, who have a common interest in historic diving and have previously participated in joint activities. Helping to document the event were Tom Bell's wife Nancy, Dennis's wife Jennifer, and Tom's daughter-in-law Carrie. Saturday, the day dedicated to diving, begins as usual with the delivery, assembly, and checking out of diving and support equipment at the dive site, a responsibility that is overseen by Mike Bentley. As an engineer and ship's diver in the Royal Navy with responsibility for even keeping the Queen afloat, this is kid stuff for him, but he has a lot of help. Joe helps him check out the state-of-the-art communication system. Joe is the first diver to suit up. He is dressed in by Guy Score and Mike Bentley. Joe's a retired environmental engineer who served in the U.S. Public Health Service, but has had a lifelong interest in historic diving. Though he's had a number of actual opportunities to do so, this will be the first occasion that he will be dressed in and do bottom time. He is privileged to be the first to submerge into the clear depths of Sproat Lake on vacation. He's happy to rate the experience as a success as he proudly takes his place among the pantheon of historic divers. The next diver to get dressed in is Chris Gill, who Tom Bell's son Ryan works with on the faculty at the University of Vancouver Island. Although this will be his first experience diving heavy gear, Chris is an experienced scuba diver and is responsible for the university's mass spectrometry resource, which is extensively engaged in research on ocean and environmental chemistry. He is also an accomplished field mycologist and provided the group with a plentiful supply of chanterelle mushrooms he had picked nearby at an undisclosed location. Assisted by Tom Bell and Chris Cassavant, and tended by Guy Score, Chris is assisted and submerges into the water. The first to greet him as he emerges from the water is Chris Cassavant. His experience is well documented. Nathan, the youngest of the Cassavant brothers, is the next one in line to dive. He is dressed in by his brother Chris, Mike Bentley, and Guy Score. Like his brothers, he already has a broad interest in diving and in following their wet footsteps. This will be his second dive using heavy gear. dive. Guy Score now dons the gear and takes over where Nathan left off. He is no stranger to the use of heavy gear. He has his own collection of helmets and equipment, much of which he has made or modified in the metal and machine shop on his farm in Duval, near Seattle. He was trained at the Divers Institute of Technology in Ballard and was a commercial diver working on construction and salvage projects early in his career. Once again, he dons the blue working chaps made by his own hand that are a hallmark of a veteran hard hat diver. True to his calling, he surfaces from his dive with a piece of debris retrieved from the bottom. The only diver of the day to be productive. He later discusses the significance and value of his find with grandfather Jerry Cassavant. A highlight of the day is provided by Katie Cassavant, Bryce's wife, who is certainly the best looking diver of the day. She leaves her young child in the tender care of the guys on the beach as she is dressed in by everyone who can seize the opportunity to help out. Like other members of the Cassavant clan, she is no stranger to diving and handles the experience with savoir-faire and nonchalance. She is assisted into the water by two of the most willing seniors in the group, Tom Bell and Dennis Johnson, and Tom's son Ryan stands by in scuba gear as the safety diver. Mike Bentley and Katie's brother-in-law Chris assist her as she emerges from the water with Tom Bell joining the recovery party. Everyone agrees she gave an impressive performance. Tom Bell is the next one on stage to get dressed in as wife Nancy documents the occasion. A retired Vancouver fireman as well as a commercial salvage diver in his off time, Tom was introduced to hard hat diving early in his life in the East and has kept his interest in it alive through the years. Being the chief organizer of this rally is a continuing example of that. A problem with his back has led him to decline opportunities to dive before, but he feels up to it on this occasion. Lots of encouragement from his family and the others probably helps. His dive is arguably the most productive one of the day, as he faces down a hapless crayfish on the bottom and entertains thoughts of providing it as a centerpiece at the evening banquet. He settles for leaving the environment intact and is obviously happy with the success of his dive and being able to join in the fun. Chris Cassavant, who has been helping others through the day get into the water, now has his turn soaping up his wrist and being dressed in by his younger brother Nathan. Chris is a commercial diver working for the fish farming industry in northern Vancouver Island. He joined Tom Bell and others at the Vancouver Aquarium during the winter and used heavy gear to take a dive in the shark tank with lots of onlookers. He was pictured in the Toronto Globe and Mail. Showing how at ease he is with the gear, he is the only one to do a pirouette on the lake's muddy bottom, an accomplishment he obviously is proud to share with his wife Shelby. They provided the delicious prawns and smoked salmon for everyone at the celebratory dinner afterward. Ryan Bell is next helped into the gear by his dad and the others. Ryan has a PhD in chemical oceanography and is an academic researcher specializing in the underwater applications of mass spectrometry, examples being monitoring oceanic CO2 and pollutant levels such as those that occurred in the BP oil spill. Both Ryan and his wife Carrie, who contributed many of the photos to this movie, are active scuba divers, but this is not the first time that he has been down using heavy gear. entry and dive are closely monitored by his wonder dog Ducky, who kept a close watch on what was going on and gave the most enthusiastic welcome back of the day as Ryan exited from the water. Both share the pleasure of the experience. Dennis was the last diver of the day and was happy that his helmet had endured a full day's use and that he'd get the chance to use it again. Taking a new Chinese manufactured helmet several years ago, he completely rebuilt it according to the directions of legendary diver Bob Kirby into one with more visibility like the ones that many of California's commercial abalone divers used. Always one for taking a good walk, he probes the depths beyond 25 feet to where the lake's bottom becomes deep mud. He gets the safety diver's attention as he sinks waist deep in the mud and demonstrates that extracting himself from it by overinflating his suit is ticklish business and can result in accidental resurfacing. He'll have to practice that maneuver again the next time out. He's already looking forward to it. It's been a full and fun day, and the international group gathers together on the beach for a collective photo op before packing up and retreating to the houseboat for some cruising to see nearby sights on the lake. A minor communication mishap on departure results in taking a part of the dock alone. The damage is not major, the helmsman is replaced, and cocktail hours resumed. A lot of productive socializing, a dinner feast, storytelling, even some singing, and a magnificent sunset bring an end to an absolutely unforgettable day. The next morning, Sunday, there's an opportunity to explore the lake a little more above the water by houseboat before departures. Ample opportunity is provided to enjoy the abundant scenery in one of the world's most beautiful places and to plot future outings. You can bet everyone is looking forward to the next Heritage Hard Hat Divers event, which is scheduled to be held in the Shark Tank at Vancouver Aquarium in January.